Here are the 3 types of childhood neglect you may have experienced. 1. Emotional neglect. Your parents/guardians didn't show interest in your emotional needs for love, support, protection, and/or guidance. They either didn't pay attention to you or condemned emotional expressions of need from you. The likely outcome of this was that you developed low self-worth and esteem for yourself. You began ignoring your emotional needs. You learned to hide from, avoid or repress your emotions as they were associated with feelings of neglect from your childhood. You develop psychological or physical sicknesses connected to your inability to listen to, accept and deal with your emotions in healthy ways. E.g. emotional repression. 2. Psychological neglect. This type of neglect was manifested in childhood by your parents/guardians who failed to listen to, embrace and nurture the person you were. As you grew older, you likely developed any variety of these symptoms. You developed low self-esteem issues due to forms of abuse such as ridicule, put-downs, overly high expectations, being ignored, rejected, or constantly punished. You developed deep-seated anger issues both from unresolved childhood trauma and an inability to love oneself. You developed addictions and neurosis to create a misguided sense of comfort and safety within your life. You developed psychological and/or physical illnesses. You have problems sustaining healthy and respectful relationships. 3. Physical neglect. At a basic and fundamental level, physical safety and nourishment are some of the most intrinsic elements of a loving relationship. We can see this in nature, with mothers and fathers nourishing their chicks, pups, and cubs with food, shelter, and protection. When this is lacking, however, the following issues can develop. Low self-worth resulting in physical neglect/abuse of oneself, e.g. eating disorders, anorexia, obesity, maintaining an unhealthy diet, self-harm, intense safety-seeking behaviors, psychological complexes such as OCD, or extreme risk-taking behaviors, e.g. unprotected sex, obsessive daredevil feats, etc., addictions to drugs, alcohol, violence, food, etc., sexual dysfunction or promiscuity, often due to sexual abuse. Take a few moments to breathe and connect with yourself after reading this list. Likely you will feel some strong emotions, but it's okay if you don't. I encourage you to take your time and go slowly, being gentle with yourself. It's helpful to remember that while some, or even many, of our problems stem from childhood neglect, grudge holding and blame will get us nowhere. People are victims of victims, meaning that the reason why our parents/guardians behaved the way they did was most likely because of their neglected upbringing, and their parents experienced the same traumas, and so on and so forth. I'll go more in depth into these points below. 1. Reflect on the timeline of your childhood. 2. Write a letter to your inner child. 3. Write a letter from your inner child. 4. Share your pain with a trusted person. 5. Loving and supportive affirmations. 6. Do an inner child visualization/meditation. 7. Be your own protector and nurturer. Conclusion. Although we may have suffered misfortune as a child, it is never too late to relive our childhoods and reconnect to that childlike side of ourselves. When we take responsibility for our happiness in life, we have the power to feel safe, heal ourselves, and create greater wholeness. This gift can never be taken away from us. I hope the exercises and practices I've mentioned in this article help support the healing process of your precious inner child by aiding you to feel safe. You can read more about inner child work in the following article.